Welcome to Backyard Bows. Hey, welcome to Backyard Bows. I'm Brandon, and today we are going to give you our top 5 bows that we've reviewed to this year. We do it a little bit differently than maybe other channels, but we're going to give you the top 5 bows that we've reviewed in-house. So there are some bows still that we haven't got our hands on, and we're trying to get our hands on everything, and we reach out to every different company, and we're kind of in negotiations with some of these companies that we haven't even had any of their bows in yet. So, we're trying, but I wanted to at least give a top 5 to date. Or from January 1st to right now, 2023, here's our top 5 and why. Coming in right at number 5, the VTM from Hoyt. I've loved Hoyt, everything they've put out over the last couple years. I love that they rolled over the RX-7 and the RX-7 Ultra. Absolutely amazing carbon bows. And I've always said this with the aluminum riser bows from Hoyt, you're getting your bang for your buck. The best quality on the market for those type of risers. Change in the feel from the Venom Pro to the VTM, a little bit stiffer on the draw, but you are getting some really, really nice speeds at 296 feet per second with my 500 grain arrow, 70 pounds at 30-inch draw. Which I thought was just impressive. It held just as solid as the RX-7, nice and compact at 31 inches. Man, the VTM 31, number 5, awesome bow, one of my favorites from the year. Coming in at number 4, which might be a little bit of a surprise to some of you because I've knocked PSE in the past, but the PSE Mach 34, man, the multiple changes of the cam for the multiple different feel with a kind of a different engine behind there. The carbon was dead in the hand, which was kind of surprising because usually that's not necessarily what you see from these carbons, but it shot very, very nice right from the beginning. I probably shot the best with the Mach 34 right off of the bat at 50 yards. I probably placed some of the best shots of any of the shots that I've taken. It was a breeze to shoot. I had it dressed up in all Redline accessories. Mach 34, number 4, coming in, I think at 283 feet per second, which was impressive too for a 34-inch axle bow. Loved the bow, all around awesome. Perfect bow for hiking in somewhere. Couldn't speak more highly of the Mach 34 PSE. All around the bows that they put out this year, the Fortis was definitely a runner-up in my top 5. But I love to see some of the changes from them and some of the things that they've done. So Era, right at number 3, we'll say the Elite Era. So first carbon bow from Elite. You get all of the wonderful technology that Elite has on all of the other bows, but now in a carbon. It wasn't the lightest carbon, but you could tell it was very rock solid. I love the look of it, very sleek, nice and fast, 285 feet per second with all of the specs that I just mentioned a little bit ago. And then you get all of the self-tuning ability. I love Elite. They're just again, I always talk about them as this sleeping giant, but there's just one of those smaller companies that once people finally hear about them, see the bows, get them in their hand, it's undeniable what they're doing. Elite will probably find its way on my top 5 every year. I can't see them not. They always have something that impresses me. The Omnia was one of my favorites. Absolutely love that bow. Coming in at number 2, Bowtech, all around, everything that they put out this year was incredible. I'm trying to not do 2 bows from the same company, or I would have. The carbon one was awesome, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the SS34. The super smooth series that they've put out over these past couple years have been some of my favorite. So nice to hold at full draw. They seem to just be one of the easiest and most comfortable bows to shoot. Absolutely, the only word I can describe any of those super smooth series bows are just butter. Everything about them. Extremely accurate, consistent, shootable. That shootability word that we use, that's kind of those bows in a nutshell to me. Absolutely love every single bow that Bowtech put out this year. We had a couple comments about they were just kind of running through cables. I don't know if your bows weren't tuned properly or whatever, but I've had great success with the one that I still have on the wall. I haven't had any issues with any of that. I know a couple guys that also have one, and they've given the exact same feedback. So I would go SS34 for number 2, probably one of my favorites since we've started this review process. Absolute amazed by the bow. Love Bowtech. And then at number one overall bow of the year, we gave it to Prime, the Prime Revex. To think about where Prime was and kind of the turnaround switch they made, they kind of went back in time a little bit to a little bit more simpler system. I love the center grip, the riser, everything, the balance. It was my favorite personal bow to shoot. And that one got a 283 on the feet per second, so still nice and quick. My favorite part about our grading system is that this guy said, I can't believe you think the Legit was a better bow than the White Tail Legend Pro. And I said, why do you think that? And he said, well, because you graded it higher. It's like the grading system is for those of you who like numbers. I love numbers. And some of us see things in numbers, so it's nice to have that stacked up against it. But that doesn't necessarily mean, my number one pick out of my top 5 is the least highest grade. The Revex comes in at 85 out of 100 in my grading system, but it's my favorite bow of the year. I absolutely love the color options, the technology, everything about Prime this past year. That bow to me, if you haven't shot one and you've continually shot bows your entire life, pick up that Revex. I promise you, you will just, it'll put a smile on your face. That bow is just an absolute wonderful bow to shoot. Number one, Revex by Prime. It was a no-brainer to me when I went through this process. The other ones, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I was mixing and matching, and you know, we have so many bows. Think about it. The Athens Elevate, the X-Lite that we just did from Expedition, awesome bow. Don't know if it's worth $2,000, but the bow is undeniably a great bow. Then you got the Fortis by PSE. You got the Carbon 1 by Bowtech. You know, and then you got the Dart and Prelude. I mean, I had so many different options. This process, I hate these top 5s because it's so hard to narrow it down. But the number one Revex by Prime never crossed my, and that was just my number one from the beginning. And then we'll also give you right now our best budget bow of the year, the Adapt by Bear. We also did number 2 would be the Quest by Centec, and then number 3, the Elite Basin. All of those budget bows, you're getting your money worth. Great starter bows, even if you're an experienced hunter or a beginner. If that's your budget, you're getting your money's worth with those, especially that Adapt by Bear Archery. I just love that bow. I couldn't put it down when I had it here in the shop. I hope you liked the video. If you have anything, leave it in the comments. We like to hear all the feedback from you guys. This is just my personal favorites. This is all preference. But out of all the bows I shot, those 5, they stood out the most. See you next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, leave us a comment. I love interaction. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have so much more to come. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook for updates of anything else that we're going to review. If there's something that you're interested in, hit those links below and check them out. And make sure, no matter what your setup is, what bow you're shooting, get your reps in on the daily. We'll see you next week.